Good morning. Welcome to Coffee at Cristo Rey Richmond Live. I'm your host for today's coffee. I'm Peter McCourt. I'm the president and CEO of Cristo Rey Richmond. And I welcome you to our very first coffee from my office at Cristo Rey in a rather quiet building. Because as you all know, school in the Commonwealth of Virginia has been postponed or delayed or canceled, whatever word you want to use, for the remainder of the school year. So we've shifted everything to a digital platform. Right now, if my students are watching and this is live, you're supposed to be in class. But I know that we also have parents who are watching us. We have friends and supporters perhaps watching us today, and some of our staff. So thanks everybody for being here today. And I invite you to get your favorite morning beverage. I have, as the staff here knows, my umpteenth cup of coffee already this morning, but I invite you to get your favorite beverage and sit down and join us. We want to, first of all, say a special word of thanks and recognition to those who are on the front line helping our community during this crisis. We want to especially recognize medical professionals at all of the region's hospitals and healthcare facilities, the emergency responders, the police and fire, all of the folks who are helping keep food coming to our grocery stores and deliveries to our houses, and all those who are working in the community during this difficult time. And I also want to say a special word of thanks to our own staff who have, in a very short amount of time, helped to transition our historic first year yet again into something brand new by creating a digital platform for our students to be able to continue their learning. And I know we have some parents who have said they were going to join us today. So parents, thank you for supporting your young person and keeping them focused on completing their first year here at Cristo Rey. And I'd like to start this coffee like I start all of our coffees by saying it's a great day at Cristo Rey. It is still a great day at Cristo Rey. And despite the fact that we may not be together, we are still together virtually in this wonderful technology of Facebook Live. So thanks for being with us. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers and your support for us. We need them, and we continue to keep you, our friends and families, our supporters, in our thoughts and prayers as well as an organization. So we thought we would structure these to just give you a brief update every week as we go through the remainder of our school year, to share good news, to share stories, to share updates of information. Of course, we encourage you to visit our website for the most up-to-date information about Cristo Rey Richmond, CristoReyRichmond.org. We have a special page on our activities relative to COVID-19. And we have a brand new page that we'll talk about later called Encouragement, a chance for members in the community to share your thoughts, your words of encouragement to our students, your special prayer requests, and we'll invite you to visit that at the end of coffee and at any time you like. And we'll keep both of those pages, our COVID-19 page and our encouragement page, up to date. So first, as the president of Cristo Rey, I never thought our first school year would end like this. It's been quite a historic year for us, creating a brand new school here in the city of Richmond to serve 33 different zip codes, students from all over the region, all the way from Petersburg and from Goochland and from Powhatan and the city itself and Chesterfield and Rico, and bringing all of those students together to form a new family with a tremendous and talented and fantastic staff. And off we were, creating something brand new and doing everything for the first time. Well, now we're doing something else new for the first time. And we're transitioning a curriculum to a digital platform. And what's special about Cristo Rey, as you may have discovered, is that we are continuing our daily instruction of students in a synchronous learning platform. Let me say what that means. Our faculty are conducting class online through Zoom for Education, a wonderful video conferencing service and platform for schools. So we are continuing algebra class, history, religion, English, etc. We are still having PE every day. In fact, our students are online with our health and physical education teacher, Coach Churchwell, and every day they are doing physical activity because we know that that's important for our young people's development as well. And we're continuing our corporate work study classes. We know that the business curriculum we have is special, it's unique to Cristo Rey, and it's vital to the success of our students in the future, in their future employment. And so we want to keep that education going. And so we have continued to deliver that content digitally as well. In addition, our counseling, our student life, and our campus ministry functions are all still going on as well, albeit digitally, through emails, through chat messages, through a Google Classroom, through Zoom. And both our academic and guidance counselor as well as our social emotional counselors have the chance to help our students deal with this brand new reality, which is on top of it the stress of being a teenager in a high school setting, right? And so we're continuing all those services as well. We're reaching out to our families, and we're trying to figure out ways to help support our families. You know, so many of them are going to be negatively impacted as this virus goes on, and as our shutdown goes on in Virginia. So many businesses are laying people off, are reducing hours, are reducing pay. The opportunities for our families to earn income is diminishing. And so we're reaching out to parents and to students to say, you know, how can we help you? How is it that we, Cristo Rey Richmond High School, can help you in this time of need? Can we get you connected to community resources? Can perhaps we go find some resources to help you ourselves? One of the major things that we're continuing to be supportive of our families is food. So we've offered the parents the opportunity to still have a breakfast and lunch delivered to their student by our transportation team. And so every day with our catering company, a meal is delivered if the parents want it to their student. We also know that many of our families do not have internet service, and so a couple of weeks ago we very quickly ramped up our ability to provide hotspots, right? Remote access points for our students. We also now have shared with those families the wonderful opportunity from Comcast to receive internet service in their home by signing up with Comcast. And so we're helping families get connected. If so much of our lives is going to move even more so into a digital platform, we know that that's going to be vital to our students' success, and it's going to be vital to that family's success. And so we want to do our best to help with those efforts. In the Cristo Rey network of schools, we are working together to look at all kinds of issues of how will this new reality of digital learning impact our students' performance, academic performance, and their potential in the future. And so we're sharing best practices with all of the other Cristo Rey schools in the U.S. We're talking about how will advancement opportunities look in the future, how will work study look in the future, and how will academic instruction look, and what are the kinds of support services that we need to be thinking about in a new and innovative way. My team knows that we made a pledge to each other that this year we were going to be flexible, we were going to be creative, and we're going to be innovative. Well, here we are. We have done all of those things, both because we wanted to open up Cristo Rey, but also because of the situation that we find ourselves in. So, in Facebook Live, you have the opportunity to ask us some questions, right? So we would invite you to post questions on Facebook right now and ask me something. If you want to know anything about Cristo Rey, about our students, about how we're doing, feel free to post that if you're live with us now on Facebook. And you can also post later on if you're watching this video after and you have a question. We invite you to connect with us, and Facebook is a great way to do that. Our team is monitoring Facebook and all of our other social media platforms, as well as our website and emails. And you know, you could also be old-fashioned and pick up the phone and give us a call. For the students, that's the thing that you hold up to your ear and speak into. But for all the rest, we would invite you to call us at the school. We're checking messages. Some of us are still here. This is not only a challenging time, but it's also a time of growth and development. And one thing that's going on here at the school that I'm proud of is renovations. We're moving full steam ahead to get ready for next school year. And you know that many of you know that we're in the old Benedictine High School. We prepared only a part of the building for this school year. So now we have to get ready for next school year, and so we're in the midst of preparations for the next school year with some renovation work going on. And so things are still happening here at Cristo Rey Richmond. So again, we invite you to post some questions on Facebook, and we'll be happy to answer them as they come in. So we're just looking at our first question is about how are we interviewing and recruiting our next freshman class. Well, our interview process involves live interviews with the student and the family so that they get to know us and we get to know them. Of course, that can't happen right now. So our enrollment services team has been very innovative and flexible and creative by organizing. Yesterday we had some interviews. Today we have more. Tomorrow we have more over the phone, offering families the opportunity to do it by FaceTime if they have an iPhone or by the regular telephone. So the parent and student on one end of the phone together with our team from Cristo Rey. And so we're conducting the same kind of interview that our current students went through when they were 8th graders, albeit remotely. We've also asked the students to submit a writing sample, which they would have done live with us, but we're asking them to submit it in advance, telling us in narrative form, why would you like to be a student at Cristo Rey and what interests you about Cristo Rey? And we're also still reaching out to their current schools to see if we can get grade reports and progress reports, or parents who might have access to the report card can take a photo and email it to us or text it to us as well from their own smartphone, or can mail a copy to us. So we've adjusted it a little bit, but we're still interviewing students. We have over 190 students who have started an application for next school year, and we only have 100 spots. So that's a really great place to be as a private school. That we have a lot of students who are interested in Cristo Rey, which is great for our second year. And we've also opened up spots for 10th graders to transfer to Cristo Rey, provided they have had a good experience in 9th grade, both academically and behaviorally, and that they're really interested in working hard. It's going to be hard to transfer into a new school, but we're interviewing those students as well. We have some spots available for 10th grade transfers. So we're continuing to do that, and we look forward to any students who might be watching us or parents of 8th graders that are interested in Cristo Rey. Now's the time to apply for our spots for next school year. Please visit our website at CristoReyRichmond.org, and you can see right on the homepage the link to get started on our application. Let's see if we have another question. So the next question we have is a story about how Cristo Rey has helped a student or a family member during this crisis. I think there are several that are falling into the same category. The first couple of things I mentioned earlier around dealing with food and the food insecurity that many of our families are experiencing, helping to provide at least 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, to the students as the families request. That started in our very first week of remote learning with only a handful of families, and that's grown every week. And so we're going to continue doing that. We would have provided those meals as part of our experience here at Cristo Rey. We're going to continue doing that. So there are several families who have reached out and have expressed their gratitude to us for that, and it's our pleasure. It's really our pleasure to do that. And then we have had a few families who are experiencing changes of housing and accommodation. And so some of our students have had to relocate where they're living during this time for a variety of different reasons, and so that creates a whole lot of stress for the family. But we are continuing to support that student by trying to adapt and modify their learning, but also by providing, as I mentioned, those hotspots, the internet accessibility points for those families that might not have internet access. And so we're continuing to do that work. Together with the Cristo Rey Network, we are going to be receiving some more to be able to be utilized for families who in the coming days and weeks may lose their internet service for a variety of reasons. And so we'll still be able to provide the student the ability to stay connected with us and with their learning. But we know we have a lot of students who are reaching out peer-to-peer. We have students who are their classmates missing from class, and so they're pinging that student with an email or a text and saying, hey, we missed you today, is everything okay? And I've heard from a couple students already that was really good. They feel like everybody's still connected, they're still a family, and that's really heartwarming to me, and it's heartwarming to our team, because that's the kind of place we want it to be, that this is the Cristo Rey family. If you've ever visited us before, you know that this is not like any other school, and so we've done, I think, an amazing job of being a family, and now we just have to figure out how to do that when we can't lay eyes or be in touch with each other personally, physically, but we can still lay eyes on one another through our video conferencing and teaching service. So those are just some things. And I know as the days unfold and the weeks unfold, and the impact of this pandemic is really being experienced by our families, there's going to be more opportunities for people who might be watching us who want to help. There'll be more opportunities for financial support to go directly to our families. We do have already established a Good Samaritan Fund here at Cristo Rey that we have used on a couple of occasions already this school year with families who have experienced an emergency at home and being able to help them in that way. And so if you're interested in that, we invite you to visit our website as well and get connected with our advancement department, who will help you tailor your donation and your support to those who are most in need. Let's see if we have any other questions. So the next question we have is, how are our corporate work-study partners, the companies that are employing our students during the school year, how are they staying engaged with us? So our corporate work-study team has been tremendous about maintaining our relationship with those partners. Now, remotely, of course, but by phone and by email, etc., remaining connected. And we invited the corporate partners, the companies that the students work for, such as Bliley's Funeral Home and Owens & Minor and Bon Secours Health System and Markel, Dominion Energy, etc. We invited the supervisors of our students to send a message, whether it was a video or an email message that they wanted to share with their student worker. And we had several companies do that. In fact, we've had some companies decide that they want to write cards and they want to send supportive messages during this time over a period of weeks to their student worker. And so our corporate work study team's working with those supervisors to receive those messages, whether they're electronic or cards, and then to pass them on to our students. We had a really great one come from the Catholic Diocese of Richmond that employs a team of our students. And one of the projects that one of our student workers did was a long scanning project, scanning paper into digital form. And we hear repeatedly from our students how boring that work is. Why do I have to do more scanning, right? They're complaining about that. And now the message from the supervisor to our student said, basically, thank God you did that work, because all those documents now that you spent hours scanning are now available to us to work because we're all working remotely. So the impact of that project now, I think now that helps our students understand that when you're doing what looks like a very simple administrative task in an office can have a major effect on the business. And now that team wrote to our student and said, we're so glad that you did it and you did it so well. Now we have access to hundreds of documents we would never have been able to access by working remotely. So our partners are just beginning that work, and I think as the next month unfolds, they'll think of ways. In fact, a couple of our corporate work study partner companies have asked if they can give the students jobs to do remotely to continue the work that that company is doing, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we would want to have happen. And so those students get an opportunity to continue working for their company remotely, just like all the other employees at Dominion or Riverfront or Woodfin are doing as they are working remotely too. Let's see if we have any other questions. So this will be our last question for the live presentation today, but the question was, what do you miss the most about having students in the building? And I shared a video at the end of our first week with our students and faculty, and I think it's still the same thing. In that video, I said the same thing. I miss the noise that they made. For a year and a half, almost 2 years before students arrived, this building was very quiet, a school building with no students in it, and it was so odd, so bizarre. But for 2 years, we sort of had that. Then all of a sudden, at the start of school, this building came alive, right? And it became what it's supposed to be, which is a place of education and learning, filled with students and teachers. And now, it's back to being very quiet again. It's back to being only a handful of us, and no students. And that's what I miss the most, because the sound of the students, my office is on the first floor and there are 2 floors of classrooms above me, the sound of the students in and out of class every day, the clanging of locker doors out in the hallway, the joking, the laughing, the teasing one another, the playful banter that goes back and forth among a family. That's really what is missing from these hallways and these rooms now. But I know that we're going to be back. And I know that it's still a great day at Cristo Rey. And I know that wherever our students are, they're still staying connected to us and we with them. And we'll figure this out together as a family, just like the families are doing at home. We as the Cristo Rey family will get through this. And we'll come out on the other side having learned, having grown, having faced another challenge, and having excelled at what we're doing. And that's what being part of Cristo Rey really is all about. The opportunity to be transformed and to transform. As our slogan, you might say, says, transforming Richmond one student at a time. And in fact, during this time, we're all being transformed. And hopefully we're all staying connected and safe. We're all washing our hands the way we're supposed to. And we're all practicing good, they call it social distancing. I'd like to say personal distancing, because I still want to socially be connected, right? So we're still practicing distancing. And we're still doing all the things that we need to do to stay healthy and safe. So on behalf of all of us at Cristo Rey, thanks for joining us today. Again, we encourage you to visit our website, CristoReyRichmond.org, where you can see everything from our updates on COVID-19 to a new page on encouragement, a chance for you to share with us your prayer intentions and requests, the needs that you might have, or an inspiring message you want to share with our students. And we'll be sure to distribute those out to our students and staff as well. And we're going to be with you every week. We're going to take right before Easter will be our next one. So next Thursday at 10 o'clock, we invite you to join us online here at Facebook, or to watch this video later, to share it. The best thing you can do to help us, I always give a homework assignment at our coffees, so today's coffee is no different. I'd like you to share this video with 3 people. I always ask the people who come here to our coffees at the school to share the news about Cristo Rey with 3 people, so I want you to do the same thing. So whoever you are that are watching us today, share this video through Facebook with 3 people. Share the news about Cristo Rey. Thank you so much for being with us, and may God bless and protect you.